Welcome to this software demonstration video for WordWall 3. WordWall 3 is an activity maker for interactive whiteboards and data projectors that makes it easy for teachers to create exciting and interactive resources for boards and for use in the classroom. It also works with the WordPad 2 student response handset, but we will be taking a look at that in another demonstration video, which is available from our website wordwall.co.uk. But in this video we'll be looking at how you can use the software purely through a data projector or a board. Now, the way that WordWall works is you can pick a template from a list of those supplied here. So we're going to have a look at some of these templates. All you have to do is put in the information and it makes the activity for you. So in this case, in the sentence maker, I'm going to type in a sentence here. I'm going to maybe put in a bit of Shakespeare, sonnet, and in this case what it does is it takes these individual words and it renders them up on the board as a series of tiles. And this idea of tiles is really important to WordWall because they provide interactive objects that we can manipulate through the screen. So once we've put in our information, we just click on next, and this takes us to the next process in the game creation menu. So we picked our template and we put in our information, and we pick now the game we want to use on it, and we're going to play a game called Reveal. And what this then does is it creates our Reveal game. And what you can see here are a number of different tiles which are obscured, and by flicking over those tiles I can reveal the words behind them. So I could say to my class, does anyone recognise this sentence? I might ask someone to come up to the board with the interactive whiteboard pen and they might write on the back of a tile what they think the word is and flip it over. Or when they've guessed it correctly, I could show all of the words in this sentence like so. Another thing I could then do is I could pick up these tiles and I could jumble them around, and I could perhaps ask a student out in my class to come up to the board and put the sentence back together. But in common with many of the WordWall activities, there's quite a few ways you can make it, but the key thing is it's really, really simple to make. Whatever your level of ICT competence as a teacher, it's something that you can put together in just a couple of minutes. Okay, so why don't we have a look now at another of these WordWall templates? So I go to the in-game menu and go to Exit, and I return to the Pick a Template screen. So one of the ones I think we might look at now is perhaps the seating plan. This is one of the most popular activities. So first of all, what we do is we draw a little map of our classroom. I'm going to have quite a small classroom here, so I'm going to put some student desks out like so. And then I'm going to type in a list of the names of the students in one of my classes. Now, if I had an Excel spreadsheet or a student management system that had names in, I could just copy and paste them out, but I don't, so I'm going to type in a few names. And then I select the game once again. This time I think we'll maybe start with a range, so we can decide where in our class our students are going to sit. So I can pick up the students and I can move them into their seats. So I might put, I don't know, Jack over there and Jenny there instead of John. And I could also use a shuffle key to randomly move people around in the class between different seats. Say, for example, I wanted to do some work in pairs, but perhaps not always with the people they sat next to. I can also change a game, and we could create a game here about the number of points, play a points game with the class. So I could verbally ask the class a question, someone could answer it, who maybe we could pick at random using something like the random roam, and then they will have to answer the question. I could give them a mark depending on whether or not they've got it correct. So we say, right, who's going to answer this question? Okay, Julian. So Julian answers the question. Let's say he gets a point because he gets it correct. Then I can go here again and I can pick someone else out to answer the question. So I could do so like so. There's also another tool called the random spinner, which we can use to pick people out a little bit more quickly if we didn't want to wait that long for the random roam to go around. So that would work like so. Another activity that's commonly used in WordWall is flip tiles. So why don't we have a go at making one of these from scratch? So what I'm going to do is, let's say we were doing a science lesson on patterns of reactivity, and I want to associate some of their metals with the chemical symbols. So I'm going to type in a list of metal names, and then on the back I'm going to put the chemical symbol that corresponds with them. Now in this situation, as well as typing in the names of the metal and their chemical symbol, I might also want to bring in an image so we have some idea about what they look like. So I could go to the image search here, and I could pick out a piece of text and I could search online, and this goes to the Microsoft Bing image search engine, and I could pick up one of the results from there and I could simply drag it into my tile. I could go there again, say, and we could search for something else, say sodium, and we go to search and we can drag the image into our tile. So we can build up, in a way, a kind of image grid here. On the next screen we can select the theme that we want our resource to appear in. So I'm going to select the Blackboard theme here, and also the game type. So I think we might use a turnover game. And I can start my resource. So now we can see the activity that we've created here, where we can flip the tiles over. So we've got it in the Blackboard theme, and we can shuffle them around, and we can go and we can associate the chemical symbols here with the pictures and the text on the back of the resource. And we can even zoom in to pay attention to a particular image, like so. Now the other thing we could do is we could take this activity and we could turn it into something else. So I could take it, say, into a definition matchup activity. So we're now taking the same information, but we're reusing it in a different format. So here I've selected the Wild West theme. And as we enter the theme, we can see on the left-hand side the unsorted metals and their pictures, and on the right-hand side we can see the chemical symbols that we want to associate it with. And we get a tick when we put it in the correct position, and a cross when we put it in the incorrect position. We can then go to the menu screen to reveal the correct answers, if we so choose. And lo and behold, we've got it correct. Now, let's say we hadn't done so well with our class and we wanted to revisit this information in another way. Well, we could use Convert Template again, and we could turn it, say, into a crossword. So we have the information now in another format, and we could complete the crossword on the board with the rest of the class. Clicking on the first tiles reveals the answers like so. So these are some of the activities we can create with WordWall. When we've made our activity, we can also share it with the rest of the WordWall community. And there are 26,000 resources in the WordWall activity bank, and it's very easy to share them. You just take your resource, put in a title and a description, tag which subjects you think it would be appropriate for and at what ages, and you simply click Submit, and you can add it to the resources that are available to other teachers. Similarly as well, you can also go and you can search for resources on the online activity bank. So for example, we could search for a resource on flags, which then appears in the list of matching activities. And we can like the resource, or we can add a comment on other people's resources to highlight them for other teachers if we find that they're useful. So I hope that's given you an idea of how the WordWall software can be used. If you'd like to find out more, visit our website, wordwall.co.uk. Thanks ever so much for listening.